Okay, it is maintenance and service time. Step one is to warm up the engine and fill your garage with lots of bad air. We're going to set up some cardboard because we're going to make a mess. Okay, so it is fall. We're going to do our yearly complete maintenance service. And there are 5 oil changes we're going to do today. Transmission, the engine, the rear differential, the PTO, and we're even going to attempt the governor oil, which is a pain in the butt because we got to drop the tank. Okay, and I need to service the rear differential lock. It has busted its little seat collar lock and the whole lever is dislodged, and I've got the parts for that, so we just need to rebuild that. So the engine is warm. Let's drop the lower oil and start from there. And then we also have, there's an oil strainer and an oil filter, so we can't forget to do the oil filter. And the oil filter is housed in this little black piece with the 3 screws. Okay. So let's get that bolt off. Looks like it's going to be a 19 millimeter. Okay, she's cracked. Now this is a oil strainer with a spring and a spacer or a washer or something. And it's all just going to fall out. I mean, we'll try and grab it, but I'm trying to remember the order that it came in. Oh, there she goes. Oh, let's open up the other oil dipstick so it'll drain quicker. Okay, as that's draining, we're going to open up the filter area, and let's see how bad a year of hard work has clogged up that filter. Last time I did this, there was a lot of metal shavings in there. And there's the oil already starting to leak. Make sure your pan is underneath there. And this also might have a spring, I don't remember. Oh, let's tighten it up. Now the manual says just to clean the filter, but I just buy new ones. They're not that expensive, and I like having the peace of mind of a clean mower. Alright, here it comes. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, there's crap all over it. And it looks like it's dented for some weird reason. So right there you can see where there's a bunch of metal shavings. Not as much as it was last season, but definitely dirty. Yeah, I'm not gonna clean that. It looks like a piece of garbage. Now we'll just clean out the inside of this. All that sediment always sits to the bottom. And let's go get a new filter. Amazon has like 2 of these for $10, I think. But first let's clean out the inside of this a little bit better. Oh, there's a lot of sediment that sits down at the bottom. And with our need for perfection, let's really get it clean. Yeah, that'll do. Clean the surface of where the cap goes on. We're going to take some of the old oil and put it around our seals. Right down a little bit. There's two sides. There's a large O-ring and a small O-ring. The small O-ring goes in first, and it kind of naturally holds and stays. Well, it felt, but if you do it this way, it won't seat at all. And we have to kind of hold it in place long enough for us to get the cap back on. But let's clean out the cap first. Okay, we cleaned it out pretty good, so just make sure the O-ring doesn't have any sand, grit, or anything that's going to cause a leak, and make sure that it's in good condition. And it's always good to order a whole bunch of these O-rings to have them in the future for changes. Okay, now this goes a certain way. I already forgot. There's only one way to line up, and it looks like it's that way. So let's push that on. Oh my goodness, come on, baby, stay. Now, let me get some more oil on it. I think oil will help it stick. Oh, this is annoying. Oh, I do not have it lined up. Which freaking way does this go? Goes like that. Now you could probably put a little bit of thread sealant on these, but I have never done that, and it's never leaked. The screws, you know what I mean. Alright, I'm going to tighten her on down. It says that the torque setting for this is 7.2 foot-pounds. That feels like 7 pounds. That feels like 7 pounds. And that feels like 7 pounds. And that's how you change the filter. Now let's take a look at that strainer. Yeah, let's just clean that up. And remember that it goes into it like that. And then I'll come right back to you. So if you look deep into the oil strainer cap, you can see all the sediment, the metal shavings, and I guess that's probably the only thing. But so definitely scrub that out real good. And there's a very close look at what was in there. Just a little bit of metal shavings. Okay, I've cleaned the oil strainer and wiped down the oil cap. And the camera's not focusing. And pay special attention to the O-ring, make sure it is really clean, and then I've wiped down the spring. So now we are ready to reassemble in this order. In this order, and it's going to be under a tension, so you got to like hold it and fight it while you spin it in, and don't cross thread this son of a bitch. Okay, so give me just a moment to reinstall that, and here is the picture of the manual of how it all works. The number 3 is that rubber O-ring that's around the outside of the threads. We're going to clean the surface area, make sure there's no dirt or grit between where this O-ring is going to go. Wipe up in there a little bit. Remember our orientation. Begin the annoying process of trying to thread it in while it's pushing back. Okay, that's the trick. One hand needs to support the second hand spins. There, I just saved you 20 minutes. That was what you were watching this video for. One hand pushes up, the second hand spins. The torque rating for this is 23 foot-pounds. That's it, 23 foot-pounds. Very important you do one last cleanse, because that is going to help you determine here in 20 minutes if there's a leak. Alright, everything's buttoned back up. Okay, recommended oil type is 10W30. Okay, so this page right here says recommended oil type is 10W30 at 2.8 liters. Although the recommended oil for my weather, which is over 90, because it's really hot here in Texas, is 20 weight 40 or 20 weight 50. And one part of the manual says it's 2.2 liters, and this one side of the manual says 2.8 liters. And my 20 weight 50 oil is about 2.1 liters. So I don't know what to do. I've got tons of 10W30, but I want to use this oil up. So I think what I'm going to do is add a little of this engine restore and maybe some Marvel Magic mystery oil and the such to fill up that last 2.2 liters. If need be, maybe it'll just be low and I can go get some more oil and bring it up, because you got that in between the low and the fill is good to go. So let's fill this up with as much of this oil as we can with a 20 weight 50 and we'll check the dipstick and see where it's at. For closer to 2.2 liters, it'll be real good. Okay, I poured all of my 2.2 liters in with a little bit of that engine restore, and it is exactly on the full mark. We did it. It just worked out great. Remember to properly check the oil for this one. You unfill the cap and then rest it in there. You do not screw it back down. And with that being said, the engine oil is just crystal clear. So let's clean the fill, reinsert. Of course, we're going to run the engine for a few minutes to check for leaks But the most important part about changing your oil is we have to check that oil is coming out of this little valve. So we're going to pull this off, and you have to do this. This is part of it, and it's always hidden somewhere. And it takes me a pain in the butt to find it. I think that's it right there. What do you think? Is that it? I'm going to recheck the manual, but I think that screw, that right there is going to be it. Well, the process is we crack it, we crank the engine on, and when we see, we need to be seeing oil squirt out of there, and then when that is working, that means everything's functioning right, and we'll turn the motor off and tighten it back up. So let's set up for that operation real quick. And if you're wondering what the heck am I talking about, it's the owner's manual, page 11-14. After replacing engine oil, be sure to check the oil flow in the following procedures. Slightly loosen the oil gallery bolt in the cylinder head. Start the engine and keep it idling until oil begins to seep from the oil gallery bolt. If no oil comes out after 1 minute, turn the engine off so it does not seize. Okay, and then this bolt is 5 foot-pounds of torque. So we already took that crap off. Yep, it's that little bolt. So it looks like a 10 millimeters, so let's try that. And then we'll move on to the next step.